A sudden pain strikes her lower back, sharp enough to steal her breath. With trembling hands, she calls her father and whispers, "Daddy, my back hurts." But as fear fills the room, her loyal dog steps forward, staring at one spot on her back, refusing to move. Steam drifted from the kitchen sink as the young woman rinsed a plate, sunlight pooling across the counter like a calm afternoon promise. Then, without warning, a sharp bolt of pain shot through her lower back, so sudden it stole the air from her lungs. She froze, fingers slipping against the wet porcelain, heart thudding as the world narrowed to the aching pulse in her spine. She hadn't twisted, lifted, or fallen. Nothing made sense. The room tilted, cabinets blurring while she braced a hand against the counter, afraid to move, afraid to breathe. For a moment she told herself it would pass, just a cramp, just fatigue. But the pain deepened, spreading slow and heavy, humming through her legs. A tremor traveled down her arms. Her phone rested near the faucet, screen flecked with water, and she reached for it with shaking fingers, swallowing panic that surged like rising tide. Her thoughts scattered, fear whispering possibilities she didn't want to believe. Her voice came out small when she finally tapped her father's name, a fragile thread of sound as the ringing filled the quiet kitchen and the ache refused to let her stand straight beneath the bright window. Her father answered on the second ring, his voice steady at first, then tightening when he heard the strain in her breathing. He asked where she was, what had happened, but she could barely form the sentences, leaning against the counter as another wave of pain climbed her spine. The kitchen sounded distant, the drip of water, the hum of appliances, fading beneath the tremor in her words. "Stay where you are," he said, calm layered over rising fear. Years of instinct sharpened his tone as he guided her to sit, to breathe slowly, to tell him exactly what she felt. She described the pressure, the stabbing pulses, the numb tingles slipping into her legs, and silence filled the line for a heartbeat too long. He pictured his little girl alone in that quiet room and felt dread bloom in his chest. "Listen to me," he said softly but firmly. "This isn't nothing. Don't ignore it." She tried to reassure him, but her voice cracked, and he heard the truth behind it. His own hands shook where he stood miles away, yet his words remained strong. "Call for help. Don't wait. I'm with you. I'm not hanging up right now." Before she could answer her father again, the soft click of paws echoed across the kitchen floor. Her German shepherd, Max, stepped into the doorway, his ears raised, his eyes fixed not on her face, but on her lower back. He didn't wag his tail. He didn't come closer to lick her hand like he usually did whenever she sounded upset. Instead, he stood perfectly still, chest tight, breath quick, body locked in tense alertness. A low sound rumbled from his throat, neither bark nor whine, something watchful and unsettled. She whispered his name, hoping for comfort, but he didn't move toward her. Slowly, he circled behind her, nose hovering inches from the same aching spot, sniffing with sharp, focused urgency. Her father heard the faint scraping of paws through the phone and asked what was happening, but fear closed around her words. Max paced in a small circle, returned to that same place, and pressed his nose firmly toward her back as if pointing at something she could not see. His behavior was wrong, too precise, too intense, and in that breathless moment, she realized he wasn't responding to her fear. He was responding to something inside her. The pain tightened again, sharper this time, sending a gasp through her chest as she nearly lost her grip on the counter. Max barked, loud, sudden, commanding, the sound exploding through the quiet kitchen. Her father's voice spiked with alarm as he demanded to know what was happening, but Max didn't stop. He pressed closer, paws braced against her hip, nose fixed on the exact same spot, barking with desperate insistence, as if time itself was running out. Her legs trembled. The room swayed. Fear crawled cold beneath her skin. "Call emergency services, now," her father said, his voice firm, no hesitation left. She fumbled with the phone, tears blurring her vision as she struggled to speak through the sharp pulses of pain. Max stayed beside her, rigid and unyielding, refusing to leave even a single step of distance between them. Every breath felt heavier, slower, as though something unseen was growing deeper inside her. The operator's voice faded in and out while sirens were dispatched, and Max continued to bark, not in panic, but in warning. His eyes stayed locked on that one place, and in his relentless, urgent stance, the truth was already waiting to be found. The ambulance lights painted the street in flashing red as paramedics guided her inside, Max pulling against his collar, desperate to stay near her. Her father stayed on the line the entire ride, his voice steady, anchoring her through every jagged breath. At the hospital, the pace shifted from fear to urgency. Nurses, monitors, quick questions, hands moving with practiced precision. Max waited in the hallway, eyes fixed on the door, his body tense but silent now, as if he understood that the answer was finally coming. Moments blurred together until the doctor returned, his expression gentle yet grave. He explained the scans, the hidden danger no one could see. Internal bleeding pressing near her spine, silent and advancing, minutes away from causing irreversible damage. The room went still. The truth landed heavy in her chest. If she had waited, if she had ignored the pain, if Max hadn't reacted when he did, the outcome might have been devastating. Her voice trembled as she whispered that her dog had known something was wrong before she did, and the doctor nodded softly, saying that sometimes animals sense what humans cannot, and tonight, his instinct had saved her life. Her father rushed into the hospital room not long after, breath unsteady, relief flooding his face the moment he saw her awake and safe. He clasped her hand, tears gathering in his eyes as he thanked the nurses, the doctors, and then quietly thanked Max, whose paws rested against his leg like a silent promise. When Max was finally allowed inside, he moved straight to her bedside, nose resting gently near the place he had sensed all along. No barking now, no panic, only calm, steady love. She reached for him with shaking fingers, emotion swelling in her chest as she realized just how close she had come to losing everything. Her father whispered that miracles don't always shout. Sometimes, they simply stand beside us on four legs and refuse to give up. The room felt warmer, brighter, filled with a quiet gratitude that lingered long after the fear had faded. As she lay there, listening to the soft rhythm of machines and the gentle sound of Max's breathing, she understood that this moment was not just survival. It was a second chance. And it existed because her loyal companion heard what no one else could.